you get social validation on every given second.
Yep, but social media is, that person was looking for that validation pre-internet.
But social media just supercharged it for this person, right?
No, I'm actually a dissent to this voice.
Sure.
I think social media has exposed the truth of, not accelerated. That person was flexing in the office.
But now they got millions of people around the world admiring that flexing.
Yeah, but it's the same fucking game. Whether you're trying to floss in front of 8 or 8 million, you're still vulnerable to the floss.
Sure. But the influence of you doing it at an office in front of 8 million people is enormous. You are pretty much tuning the minds of another generation.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but the reality is why? And what are you trying to do for yourself?
True.
You know, I don't find a lot of those people being thoughtful about what they're doing for the next generation. They're too inherently selfish.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right, so.
I don't think was overthinking about what he was doing for the next generation.
No, he's not.
I think, and by the way, me and everybody else, like, I think people are doing what they think is what they want to be doing.
Yeah. But you at least have a conscious acknowledgement of you want admiration, and to do that you have to be good.
Correct.
Right? So you are doing good, but you know.
Yes,
people,
but for me, that's what makes me happy, and I don't have any interest in judging somebody who wants to fuck every night. I don't have any judgment on somebody who wants $1 billion in cash.
Sure.
I struggle with judgment, but to your point, I will only use the word luck, and I hate using that word. Luckily for me, I was structured in a way where what I want is inherently selfless. Cool, but that leads to gratitude more than judgment.
Yeah.
More than looking around at everybody else and judging them, I just stay in my own head of being grateful for what I had.
So you never had a mentor?
The market is my mentor.
Right.
I don't want to listen to anybody who did it before. I need to listen to what the consumer wants now.
Right. I mean, I think Nassim Taleb says getting advice from somebody who's already done it, like getting yesterday's lottery ticket numbers.
Plus, most people give advice. Again, another thing that I'm excited about is I'm trying to reverse engineer people, not tell them to be like me.
Right.
I know I'm inherently different, like we all are, and so advice often is too one-dimensional. I think this is a big game. I try to push people towards self-awareness more so than doing it like me.
Yeah, all right. Because what you...
I apologize, I want to just add one more point because I think it's interesting. I also think that most people that become mentor thirsty are actually using it as an excuse not to do. By paying or by always educating, it's just the same version of somebody who just keeps going to school. Those who keep loving going to school are ones that don't want to do.
Right, okay.
So a lot of people feel, it's why I fear people watching too much of my content. There's a lot of people who think watching or listening to my content is them actually doing something.
So they are vicariously living their life through you.
They're getting that adrenaline rush through my energy and my advice, and they think they're building, but they're not acting on, which is why occasionally I get very aggressive and kind of call them out and say, stop watching my shit, like enough.
Right.
The problem is, after doing that for the last 5 years, I realized something terrible is happening. When I do that, they don't like that. They're like, fuck, you fucked me up. And then they go listen to somebody worse. I thought I was getting them to do shit, but then I started looking at what was happening and I'm like, wait a minute, now they're paying some huckster. Instead of getting good advice for free, they're playing a fucking lowlife money because I made them uncomfortable because I called them out on their shit and they don't want to do. So they're so not interested in doing that they're willing to pay somebody who sucks shit. That's what these piranhas are doing. So what I do for a living is I realize that 95% of money and energy is wasted. It's wasted in tactics, and it's wasted in creating a fake North Star. Recalling the beginning of my talk, it's wasted in creating a fake North Star of what success is, or not having the emotional strength to decide what winning is for yourself and letting somebody else define what winning is. Your girl, your parents, somebody you look up to, please, please, please understand there are very basic things that need to get done to win. One, play your game. Always be on the offense for what matters to you. And two, realize that if you do not have a skill, if you do not have skills, you don't deserve to build a business. You can't just read about it. You can't just listen to podcasts about it. You can't just be about it. You gotta have fucking skills. Have skills, know what you want to happen for yourself, nobody else. There's that, you know, how many people saw Rocky 4? Like the Russian one. Just raise your hands, I wanna know. Remember that part where Drago, before the fight, he's like Yahtzee guy, he's like, I'm doing this for myself, like fuck you, Russia? That shit. Be fucking Drago. Do your shit for you, not what everybody else wants you to do. That, my friends, is how you win in life. I've spent most of my 20s sitting with 80 and 90-year-old people, constantly. I was very fucking weird. I would go in public, I would roll up on 80 fucking year old, I mean people that looked like they might die before the conversation was over. Airplanes, I would switch seats, sit with an old fucker, and I would fucking drill those people. And I would ask them question after question after question. And those old fuckers, strangers, people that fucking died 6 weeks after I met them, those people formed my life because I looked at 50 to 100 people that lived it and their shit was the same. Let me say this to this crowd. How you make your money is way more important than how much you make. How you make your money is way more important than how much you make. When you're 80 and your grandkids and your kids are talking about your life. Doing what you wanted to instead of what everybody else wanted you to do is the number one thing. It's the number one thing. And so many of us didn't have the strength at 15, 16, 17 to not do what society or our parents wanted us to do. The cool thing is, it's never too late. It just isn't. Like, I made a video about 60-year-old entrepreneurs that went quite viral for me, and like the emails are flooding in and it's fucking crazy. Like, it's just never too late. So, guys, it's basic, but it's hard and it takes work. And so I wish you nothing but success, and I really hope you understand the practicality that my talk was framed in, because way too many people are wishing who they are instead of realizing who they are. Too many people in this room are hoping for something without understanding that there's so much better to be grounded in what it is and then going all in on that. I'm completely convinced, and I watch it every day, that you can overshoot your ambition by understanding who you are and then just being patient. That in a 15-year window, you are far more successful than if you run to the thing that you're not in a 6-year window. There's way too many stories of this. You know them. Don't be one of those.
You got nothing to sell and you're telling people, you know, my advice is free, etc. But you operate in that sort of that world. Can you change that world, or
yes.
How do you plan to do that?
By showing that it could be done.
Right. All right.
I mean, there's a 13-year-old now who's going to be impacted by me, who's going to decide to replicate the way I did it versus the way somebody who's the bad version of me doing it. You need somebody to be the example.
Yeah, sure. No, I agree.
Right?
I agree. Absolutely.
I have enormous pride in the fact that I'm putting enormous pressure. I'm unbelievably disliked quietly by many of the biggest personalities that look like me because I'm putting pressure.
Because I remember being at an event where you came up on stage and said, whatever the other guy was selling, don't buy it, something along those lines, which is...
Yeah, I mean, by accident I caught the last 10 minutes prepping. It just is bullshit.
Yeah, right, I get it.
I'm super not interested in it's normally $15,000, but for these 4 minutes, it's $89.
Yeah.
What the fuck?